All right, it's early, we're heading out. I'm tired. I mean, it's early, it's like 9:30 right now, but that's early in my world. I would usually wake up at like noon, you know, and go to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. So I had to wake up about an hour ago. Also, I'm tired because I just had to pack all of this into my trunk. I don't have a truck, this is a car. Most importantly, I'm gonna need some coffee. I'm running about 30 minutes late, so we're gonna head down to Denver after that and pick up Connor and Chelsea, and we're gonna caravan out of here. Connor!
Hello. Welcome to my house.
So we're gonna be taking off soon. I'm just talking to you because Chelsea and Connor are inside kissing the dogs goodbye. So we're just waiting. Just waiting. Nope, they're back. Time to go. Got our walkie-talkie, got my coffee. Let's get the show on the road. We are in Cincinnati, Ohio right now, and we are working on our next documentary project, which is about one of Greg and Dana's haunted objects, the crone, in fact. That's a little secret right there that some people might not know yet, so there you have it. This is Greg and Dana's old apartment here, so we are shooting for the final time before they complete their move out. And so most of their stuff is over in their new house, so we just have a few things in here, and so it's a bit of a chaotic place because we just kind of threw everything in the kitchen except for what's in this room right here. So this room is looking pretty decent for our shot. I don't know if I'll even show you the kitchen though. That's gonna be, it's a whole thing. We got Greg over here right now doing some set dressing, getting things ready. Like
Easter eggs. We need Easter eggs. Things that the fans will recognize.
If you watch carefully in the background of a lot of our interview shots in Hellier, there are Easter eggs throughout. All right, I'll show you guys. Just take a look. Man, there's like we've got a couch in here. We've got the coffee table in here. We've got all my camera gear in here. It's a madhouse. Don't judge though. Just this is literally like the end of a move here. Greg and I only have probably a couple of big trips left. And we are just functioning within it. This is a look I was like, we need to have like empty rooms, it'll look so cool. There's a little bit of a strategy behind where I'm shooting these interviews too, but I'm not gonna tell you guys, because I want you guys to figure it out. Can't give everything away in these vlogs here. When it comes to lighting these things and trying to set up these shots, it's half of a game of like what looks good. There's a few rules that I always try to follow, and the rest is just like how do you position everything. So you have to have someone facing a certain way in every shot. You have to have the light coming from a certain side depending on which way they're facing, and then you have to squeeze that light into the background so that it's not in the shot. And it becomes more of a logical exercise than it is a creative exercise when you're doing this kind of thing. So it's really nice when you can get an interview shot in like a huge scenic location, and that job gets harder and harder the smaller a room you're in. So that's where things get really creative. It's the funny thing about these shoots too, because it seems like after Hellier and then this project, it's always Greg's shot that we spend the most time art directing the scene. I don't think that's a reflection on Greg. I think it just seems to work out that way, but we've got a big canvas here that we're trying to put a lot of stuff on. Wide shot is the close-up's just a little blurry in the background, but Greg Newkirk for the Chrome, scene 1, take 1 marker. Alright guys, so it is 2:45 in the morning. We just finished up with Greg's interview. I think it took, how long did it take, Connor? About 4 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours and 45 minutes exactly.
3 hours, 45 minutes exactly. I'm exhausted. It was a great shoot. We're gonna leave everything set up here just in case we need to do any reshoots, but fantastic interview. I'm so excited for you guys to see this documentary. It's coming together so well. This interview's been 2 years in the making as well. 1 year since I've been dying to shoot it. So it's basically the baseline underneath the entire documentary. And so we had temp footage from what we shot before, but this whole doc is really gonna come alive now that we have our main two storytellers giving the story. So I'm gonna be able to get to work here. We're taking tomorrow off and then we're coming back here to shoot some more B-roll. I'm gonna quit talking to you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me, but I'm gonna go home and get some sleep. Thanks for hanging out, guys. On to the next. Shit. I can't say that on. So are you guys expecting or?
No, it's Connor's new bed.
We're expecting, in a very funny fashion, went to go buy a crib and it's purely for one reenactment shot, but you know what? The painstaking detail that we care about in this documentary, we bought a crib, so we're installing it.
So as Connor mentioned, yes, there is one scene in upcoming documentary here where there is something kind of spooky that happens around and about a crib, and so we wanted to shoot some B-roll recreation kind of stuff regarding that.
I should send a picture to my mom and be like, oh no, it's for a terrifying reenactment for
Guess what, Mom?
documentary about a haunted statue. Not yet, not yet. Mattress support to We've never built furniture together, but we picked out a couch together.
That's different. That's a very different experience. You have to go to IKEA and build a couple pieces of IKEA furniture and test the relationship.
Mattress support bolts. Mattress support bolts. Absolutely always need.
So I was downstairs hanging out with Dana, doing some work on my computer, and I heard that they were making the crib up here, and I said, I'm gonna go vlog that. So I missed most of the crib building experience. And so now I'm that guy that is everyone's favorite person, and it's the guy that just sits here and goes, hey, you did that wrong. Hey, did you read the instructions? So I noticed a little something in his process here.
Okay.
What does that say? Inside, and if we pull out, that's the outside.
We're gonna change it. It's gonna be right for the baby.
We are on set day 2 back at the Newkirk's apartment. We took yesterday off after all that interview shooting. Right now we're resetting the living room. We had to do a couple pickup shots with Greg. It's a little bright here. Let's knock this down. We had to do a couple pickup shots when we got here with Greg, so his lighting was a little bit different, but we didn't want to wait until it got dark out because we have other stuff that we need to shoot. So right now we have a little while until the sun goes down. We need to get a quick shot outside, and then we're going to shoot all around this space. So we're basically just kind of like cleaning it up, making it look lived in again, basically a little art direction as far as that goes, and getting it reset for all this B-roll. Now I actually shot this B-roll earlier, so part of the thing that I told you guys about earlier was that we had already shot the interviews, we had already shot some B-roll recreation scenes to overlay it, But I was never happy with that B-roll. Part of it was my lighting was just awful. I didn't apply anything I knew about lighting a scene. And the camera that I was using just wasn't the best. The GH5S that I shot all of Hellier Season 2 with, it's a great camera, but it has some struggles, especially when you're trying to use natural lighting. A lot of lamps will blow out very easily. And there's just, in some situations, it can have something of an amateur look to it, which was amplified by the fact I didn't light it well. So what we're going to be doing today is reshooting all of those old recreation scenes for Act 1 of the documentary with Greg and Dana. We're going to be using a much better camera that I love the image of. I'm going to be thinking a lot more about what kind of lighting and composition I'm doing for these shots. And we're going to be here probably till about midnight reshooting those scenes to really give the first part of this documentary a little bit of extra weight. So as you see here, this is very different from Greg being in here. We've cleared the place, we put the couch back in, threw the TV on a new stand, put the chair back in here from Dana's interview. And Greg is just set dressing these shelves a little bit with a couple more books.
What are you talking about? We're moving in. The new place didn't work out. It's too haunted. We're coming back here. Sorry, Mike.
It feels like we're moving in.
It does feel like we're moving in. It's kind of strange, actually.
The last owners didn't clean the place at all, though. So
oh, it's the worst.
they're just like, it's like they started to move out and then left like a quarter of their stuff.
I wonder why. There's probably a haunting in here. Something terrible has happened here. See how strong you are. Keep holding it just like that.
Okay.
Almost. Oh.
I get bullied a lot here. That's okay.
So this here is the camera that we're shooting the documentary with. This is the Z-Cam. This particular one, I have two models. This is the S6. It's a Super 35 6K sensor on it. I love the image that comes out of the Z-Cams. The Z-Cams are a relatively unknown brand out of China. There's actually a couple over there from Asia, Z-Cam and Kinefinity, that make some pretty great cameras. They're both very new, so there are some kind of growing pains with them and things that they could obviously do a little bit smoother, better, and cleaner. Every camera company has to start somewhere, but this was just an amazing camera for me to finally invest in. It was right in my price range. It can do two different types of RAW, even though I don't use them because they're not well supported in post-production yet. One day, perhaps they could be. But the image out of even just ProRes on this is gorgeous. The dynamic range is fantastic. The size is great. It's very modular. Until I can upgrade to like the dream camera, I really can't imagine a better camera on the market than this one, for me anyways. We have here the Vazen 28mm anamorphic lens, which is one of my favorite two anamorphic lenses that are both in my price range and just create an excellent image. It's a 1.8x squeeze, so it's almost a 2x squeeze lens. A lot of the recreation scenes that we're doing are going to be in anamorphic to try to give it that little bit more of a cinematic, not quite real life recreation scene kind of a vibe. Also, I just fucking love anamorphic, so that's what we're doing. So I was shooting on spherical for the interview just to keep it a little bit more clean and crisp. I thought about shooting Greg's interview on anamorphic, at least for the wide angle, but decided against it because all of our other interview shots were on spherical lenses. So I just wanted to keep that clean and consistent across all of our interview shots. But for the recreations, I thought it was a great time to pull out that anamorphic lens again, get that kind of signature look and that cinematic kind of flair to elevate the recreation scenes so they don't quite feel as recreated and a little bit more of that professional flavor. Alright.
Not sad.
Sorry I didn't vlog much, guys, but this is the very end. This is the very end of our shooting in this apartment here.
This is the last.
That's the last.
We're done.
It's 4 a.m. though, so we're gonna get the fuck out of here. feel like we're moving out.
Last shoot ever. Last shoot in this apartment.
See ya.
See you later.